Okay, I know these look like computers. Totally not.
Sarah, I've probably known 8 to 12 pedo-trannies, though I did know one person who had gender issues who had raped kids. I don't even consider her a tranny, though. So I wasn't ever planning on making a second video on this topic, but I am over-fucking-whelmed by the response from the first one. Honestly, I thought people would just ignore it, but then some really weird things started to happen. First, the megalink that hosted the chat logs got taken down. Then, the web citation archives that prove the chat logs were hosted on Sarah's site also got taken down. Then I got banned from Twitter. Twice. But that isn't even the craziest part. The craziest part is people started coming out in droves saying they support Nyberg. People like Todd in the Shadows from Channel Awesome, Catherine Cross from Feminist Frequency, and Alex Lifshitz from Khan. A writer from Cracked even sent a picture of his daughter to SRH bots. This isn't just ignorance on their part, because they keep changing their story. First, they said the chat logs were fake. Then they said the chat logs are real, but were tampered with. Now they're saying Sarah was just pretending to be a pedophile. I am not fucking kidding you. This is probably because Sarah posted a response admitting the chat logs are real, but everything's okay because they were just being an edgy teenager. Never once in the article does Sarah address the claims of pedophilia. Also, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure 20 years old doesn't count as a teenager anymore. The Nyberg Defense Squad have been working overtime covering all their bases, deleting evidence, spreading misinformation, and getting people banned. They were well on their way to covering this whole thing up, and they would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for this guy.
Just today, they published another editorial from this fucking pedophile. Right after I'd exposed a pedophile, Sarah Nyberg, in Gamergate.
After a legal team reviewed the evidence, Milo Yiannopoulos published an article exposing Sarah Nyberg's pedophile logs to the world. Milo even got in contact with the victim's family to confirm the facts. But I guess years of forum posts, chat logs, and the word of the victim's family aren't as important as the word of a pedophile, at least to these people. Yeah, in case you can't tell, the pedophile internet defense force is fucking crazy. Take for example this clown, Izzy Galvez.
Everyone can game now, it's not really an exclusive club.
Israel Galvez doesn't feel much of a gaming stigma anymore, but that passion to play has also put Galvez in a dangerous place.
They're basically domestic terrorists, especially when they take it to this level.
Izzy helped hide evidence by getting the web citation archives taken down. They also published a series of tweets claiming the chat logs were modified. This is total bullshit because the web citation archives prove the logs were hosted on Sarah's website. On top of that, Galbadia Hotel used to host FF Shrine IRC snippets on the front page of the site. Years of archived snapshots match up with the chat logs I'm reading from. Hear that, Izzy? It doesn't matter that you got the archives taken down, because you can prove they're real without them. You sick fuck.
That'll do it though. That'll do it though, yep.
And assuming Izzy isn't lying here, they claimed responsibility for getting my account banned. Man, look how many people favorited that tweet. Over 100 faves, wow. I wonder what kind of people would be celebrating my removal from Twitter. Huh? Who's this Max guy? What's that website? virped.org? Nope. Once the Nyberg articles came out, even more people started going through the chat logs. I have a hard time believing Sarah was just being edgy, especially when people found even more evidence Sarah shared child pornography. But before I start reading through the logs, keep in mind for the purpose of privacy, I've changed the relative's name to Alice.
Again, we want to remind you that some of what you will see is explicit.
Here you can see Sarah sharing image links to 12chan, a notorious child porn website that was taken down. Sarah, she looks drugged. This isn't 4chan. Oh, LMAO, 12chan. Sarah shares another child porn link. Sarah, I'm beginning to wonder about you. Sarah, what about me? The one where she looks drugged. That's CP. I can see underage twat. Sarah, nudity isn't CP. CP being short for child porn. Sarah, they call it a jackrabbit. Don't tell your parents. OMG, if you get Alice one, you have to get me one. Sarah, ha ha ha. I knew that was coming, Greta. If you want to get a little girl a vibrator, just buy them one of those vibrating pens. If they're matured enough to want a vibrator, they'll figure the rest out. Sad face. Sarah, when you define child as anyone under 18, children raping adults can most certainly happen. I've seen pics of you before, remember? Sarah, have you actually posted pics of Alice before? Sarah, privately, yes. And once when I was drunk, I linked to her in the chat. Here you can see Sarah sharing an image of her cousin. Sarah, if you give those out, I'll cut your throat. I wouldn't do that. She's 10? Sarah, 8. She looks older. Sarah, she looks younger in the Christmas pics. Sarah, Alice arrested me once. You played cops? Sarah, she just decided to arrest me out of the blue. LOL. Sarah, she handcuffed me with rubber bands. Now, as much as I enjoyed tickling her last time, my dad got my grandma a massager thing, and Alice stole it and tried to tickle me with it. So I took it from her and tickled her. Child modeling. I was right. Sarah, they weren't even child models. And what's the purpose of child model pics? Wank. Sarah, I just posted pictures of mothers and daughters. Most ethical pedos don't advocate penetrating little girls. Most ethical pedos don't advocate penetrating little girls. Okay. For those of you who stuck with me during this whole video, thank you. Some of this stuff was difficult to read out loud, and honestly, the only thing keeping me going is the response from all of you. I really don't care whether or not the sociopaths defending Sarah Nyberg believe me. I'm just glad the family now knows the truth. For those of you asking when will I make a new Twitter account, because my suspension is permanent, I can't make another Twitter account because it's automatically considered ban evasion. This whole situation becomes even crazier when you learn who is the head of Twitter safety. She goes by the name Del Harvey. You might recognize her from...
Del Harvey is fighting back by hunting down online pedophiles and bringing them to justice. Please welcome, from pervertedjustice.com, Del Harvey.
That's right, the head of Twitter safety helped with To Catch a Predator, and yet I got banned because I exposed a pedophile's chat logs. You know, kind of like the exact same thing Del Harvey used to do. So for those of you wondering, no, I won't be making another Twitter account. I don't want to use a website that protects users like... Oh, and one last thing, Sarah. If you think this whole thing will blow over if you cry enough crocodile tears, trust me when I say it won't blow over. People from FF Shrine and other users from the chat logs are coming forward.
If it happened to be a young person, she would latch onto them almost a creepy manner.
And they will expose you, you disgusting monster. Oh, what the fuck?